Hello, everyone. Welcome. Great to have you here today. We'll begin in just a couple of minutes as people are still joining us. And quick check, please. If you can hear me well and see the presentation, send a plus in the chat. Great, thank you. Good to know everything works smoothly. And before we dive into the topic, let me share a couple of quick organization notes. Our webinar today is being recorded, and everyone who has registered will receive the recording and the presentation afterward. By the way, we have almost 150 registered participants today, which is amazing. I am truly happy to see so many specialists with different roles join us: engineers, technical leaders, project managers, and even CEOs. This shows that the topic we are discussing today is important for everyone, and each of us can influence the security of our products. And very soon, we will share how to make the process much easier and more efficient. Also, please note that everyone here can use chat. So feel free to leave your questions or thoughts at any time during the session. After the main part, we will have a dedicated Q&A time, and we will make sure to answer every question. Okay, guys, great. So let's get started. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Olga Volzhanina, and I am a senior project manager at Apriorit. I have been part of the Apriorit family for nearly 17 years, which has given me the opportunity to work on a wide range of interesting and really different projects. During these years, we have always done much more than just write code. I started as a quality assurance engineer in a development team working on drivers and other low levels projects. However, over the past 10 years, I have been fully dedicated to project management in the SaaS department. Today, we want to talk about security development flow and how automation pipelines can help protect SaaS products in a very dynamic and demanding environment. Many of you know that Apriorit has been working in cybersecurity and software engineering for more than 20 years. During this time, we have supported hundreds of clients across different industries, from startups to enterprises. And we have seen the trend landscape grow, evolve, and become more satisfied year after year. What used to be a simple security checklist 5 years ago is no longer enough. Products are realized faster, infrastructures are more complex, dependencies change daily, and SaaS applications are exposed to real-time global threats. And while organizations focus on features, performance, and delivery speed, security debt grows silently in the background. We chose this topic today because we see a major shift in the market. Security is no longer a final step or a post-production activity. It needs to build into the development lifecycle early, continuously, and automatically. Manual checks simply cannot keep up with the scale, speed, and complexity of modern SaaS products. So during this session, we want to share what the industry data tell us, what trends we observe through our insights, which automation solutions are already available, and where exactly security tools can be integrated into development pipelines. Our goal is to show practical steps, not only why security matters, but how terms can realistically implement it. We hope that after this webinar, you will look at your pipelines not just as a way to deliver code, but as a way to protect your product. And with that, let's move to the first part. Now, let me introduce our technical speaker, Ivaneichyk. Ivan is a team leader at Apriorit and a development manager who specializes in building high scalability and high performance solutions. With more than 10 years of expertise in web development, he has worked on multiple complex SaaS platforms, solving challenges related to architecture, performance, and security. Ivan combines hands-on engineering expertise with a deep understanding of how real-world systems behave under load and under attack, which makes him the perfect person to walk us through today's topic. Ivan, it's great to have you here today, and I am really glad we are doing this session together. The floor is yours.
Hi all, hi Olga. Thank you for this introduction. I hope this webinar will be useful for all of us, and after this we make our products more secure. So thank you for joining us, and let's start. So today we plan to discuss security automation pipelines and how it can be provided to our products, and our agenda connects to these steps. So first of all, we will look at statistic for 2025 and the previous years. Then we try to understand the trends of this, so where we are going. After that, we slightly describe importance of penetration tests and dependency checks for products and how can we solve this. Show you some available solutions on market, and then we describe how it can be integrated to pipelines. Before we start, I would like to describe a few keys that you can hear today if somebody maybe don't know them. So first key is OWASP, Open Web Application Security Project. It's a non-profit community. They working on improvement of cybersecurity in web. And they have a lot of open source tools, instructions, standards that we can use, and usually we use it in our work. WASP Top 10 is the most popular project of this community, and it's a top 10 most critical applications in security risk. CV Top 25, it's similar to WASP Top 10, but 25. But it's data provided from SANS Institute. It's a cybersecurity institute, and we also can use their statistic to display some results today. Package managers, it's open source tools that we usually use to install a third-party software in our code. Also, we will discuss today how to work with them. And let's start from the statistics for 2025. I'd like to start from a good news. At this moment, you can see, so let's start where we take the statistic here. So we're using the reports from Veracode of this. And a good news, we can see that for the last like 10 years, step by step, but count of applications with security flaws reduced. Yeah, and it's really good for news for us because it's our work. You can mention that same data from COVID years. It's really interesting since we have increased amount of vulnerabilities this years because a lot of new application was on market. But total amount of severity flaws increased by 101% for the last 5 years. Why it happening? So we have a really, we have a like positive trend, but we have increased amount of issues. It happened because a lot of new applications on market. This market still grows. And we can see that some products like worry about security and some don't worry at all. That's why we have this amount of statistic. The next interesting data is about time to fixing the flaws. So if you have some mission projects, the time for fixing this increased like pretty around 50%. That's a lot. And that's for the last 5 years, from 171 days to 252 days. And if you see the same statistic for the 15 years situation, like that's not a good trend. So, and we can see that it's growing. If you know, I like some products of NVIDIA, like GeForce Now, for example, and like in 2025, they paused all payments for 2 months, and like all users use service for free because of some issues they found inside. So, and until they fix this, so they lost a lot of money, by the way. Really interesting statistic from languages. I know maybe some of us already has product, maybe not, but we can see that if we detect the time of fixing flaws, if every like program language, we can see that Python is a champion, and also like JavaScript. Interesting statistic about how flaws fixing in your project. And you can see that when we start fixing flaws after 1 year, so we're fixing just like half of this. On second years, 30% of flaws still in project. And only like after 5 years, we minimize this amount. And the same chart for the teams that has some security education like inside. You can see that difference between the time we need for fix for a team who knows how to work with security, like 2.5 faster than with the teams that don't know how to do this. And some good news, like OWASP top 10 scanners, like this year, like all applications that was scanned, like half of them passed this OWASP top 10. So that's also good news. So security becomes more and more valuable for the companies. So where exactly issue happen? We can see that some issue happen in your code, some issue happen in third-party code. And we talk about how much, we can see that the most issue happen directly in your code, but most critical issue happen in third-party code that we install. So we need to control both of these to understand these security risks. And also interesting statistic from record about leading and lagging organizations. So we can see that leading organizations that worry about security and all like parameters that has influence on their performance like in a normal way, but lagging organizations don't worry this at all. And only one parameter, it's like a capacity is different, but I guess it's only because leading organization has much more traffic for their products.
Wow, Ivan, thank you for sharing these numbers. They're impressive and honestly a bit scary. The number of vulnerabilities is growing, the time to fix them is growing, and the pressure on development teams is growing as well. But before we move on, I have a quick question for you. Ivan, I know that you and your team have worked with different security standards. Why do you mention OWASP specificality, and why do you recommend it as the first choice for SaaS products?
Yes, so we work with different security standards, and later I will like share the slide about what exactly we're using. But why OWASP? WASP has a lot of benefits. First of all, it's free. Second, it's like open source tool, and so like regularly updated by community. Like every like 3 years, you see the updated list of flaws. You can use it. A lot of tools that you can use. It's also free. and regulators accept it. So that's really important. All security standards that we're using in the documentation has links to OWASP. So if you follow OWASP best practices, like you handle pretty like all cases that you can find in these standards. So that's why main reason why we are using it. Also, some standards provide recommendations for organizations like how to work. So it's like a concept how to work with security data. But Evolves is focusing for web directly, yeah? And for developers, it's simpler to work with this than like work with some corporate standards.
Okay, it's clear now. Thank you. Guys, we have a quick question for you. Do you currently use OWASP standard and maybe another standards in your development process? Please share this information in chat. This will help us understand where we all stand today. Thank you, Ivan.
Okay, so we continue.
Yeah, please.
So understanding there about the risks. So business in this case, based on this statistic, has two risks. So we know that count of vulnerabilities like grow, and it means that grows opportunity to hack you. And if you are not controlling this, someday you can have a luck. Also increases the time for issue, yeah, and every time that we fixing, so we pay for this. And so configure correctly life cycle to minimize this time is really important, and that's something that we talk about today. For development, we will know that most issues that scanners found it's in our code, yeah, and critical issues in packages. So we need to configure something that helps us to detect all issues in both of these places. This is a slide about OWASP products. You can see standards that we are using, PSI, GDPR, NIST, and ICO. And all of them has linked to OWASP and also like included to the documentation. It doesn't mean that you like don't need to follow them, right? And okay, let's do only OWASP. It means that it's also connected to project and where exactly you are working. So in Europe or maybe in Africa, in America. So different standards works in different places. So how we can work with this? We recommend to integrate two like processes in your development lifecycle. It's a dependency check and penetration testing, and it should be a part of your lifecycle and should take like minimum amount of time to work with it. And today I'd like to show how it will be looks like. When we talk about dependency check, this is a statistic from npm package, and I like this report. So dependency chain depth at this moment is counting as 4. It means that like one package, when you install to product, has dependency with other packages inside, and this deeps like up to 4. And we expect that okay, it will be like linear dependency. If you increase count of packages in projects, we will have like average depth in 4. But in reality, it comes to like 20 or 30. And also some packages are really hard to control. This is an example of one of the most popular packages that used everywhere. And you can see that this package uses like the list of dependencies inside. If somewhere issue found, yeah, you need to refresh your package. That's why as less 3 dips in dependency you have, as better for your project. Sometimes you can see something like this. This is like outdated package. It's also good, but you know, like you can see that like most of packages inside not updated at all. It's a high security risk. So what we can do with this? Dependency tree can be controlled by package manager that it's can be used for every language, and it can be controlled by like bash commands that can be then integrated to pipelines. Node.js, Python, Rust doesn't mean what we are using. So for scanning, package versioning, and vulnerabilities, you can use also standard libraries. And it can help us to detect the package version, so to avoid like this state. And then it should be integrated to one script. So this is an example of the script. Like you can see that it's just 3 rows of code for Node.js that can be integrated to GitHub pipelines or to GitHub Actions, and it controls the package tree depth. It's something wrong, pipeline fails, and your code not going to production. Really good. We are using this, and it helps us to control the issues. Okay, about penetration testing, it's a little bit different since we worry about it a lot. By the way, can you please type in chat who of us is sure that after the meeting we are coming and attack your product, it will be safe? It's a really interesting statistic. We will read it a bit later. So we're focusing on several penetration tools. They all open source, like OWASP ZAP, VACT, or NACLI. We mostly use OWASP ZAP since these tools like open source and supported by community. Other tools also good, and you can find a lot of different tools in the internet, but keep in mind that they should be regularly updated. These 3 regularly updated at this moment. You can use any of these. We will discuss more about OWASP ZAP since we are using this in our project, and we can share some interesting results that we have. And first of all, what benefits these tools has? First, as open source supported. These tools has a GUI interface, so not only developer can work with it, it can be like tester or DevOps, and it can be configured like any member of the team. It's supported on all operation systems and has Docker builds inside. Dockers allow us opportunity to integrate it to the existing pipelines that we have. They also has integrated automation tools. I will show a bit later how to is it working and how to work with it. Okay, let's continue. This is a few recommendations about how we are working with all penetration tools. First of all, you need to have a perfectly generated API documentation. There are a lot of formats it's supported: Open API definition, GraphQL, Postman collection, WSDL file. You can use all of this. But we recommend to ask developers to use the same validation schemas for documentation and for real validation in code. Because if you need 2 places, there are a lot of risks that documentation is not updated, and you have a lot of problems. This is how WASP ZAP looks like. In a bottom side, you can see that after uploading documentation to WASP ZAP, it starts DDoSing your product with different requests, and it usually comes to thousands. And how it looks like. So this is an example of how every request and response to your product looks like. So instead of passwords, it's try to set some robot command, depends on your operation system, like Windows, Linux, and try to hack your, to find your security depth. This is example how Hydrix looks like of this. And about penetration testing. So we this would WASP ZAP allow you to create a personal automation pipeline just directly in the program interface. Why it's useful? Because usually on project we have a problem who of the team should configure this. Yeah, so developer, DevOps, or QA. So who's responsible for this? In my opinion, personal opinion, first configuration should be done by developer. but QA also can do it if you have already a working product. It allows to generate a YAML file that you can save it in a product, and then this file can be used by automation tools in pipelines. This is flow that comes with every request. So when we send something to server, server usually checks encryption, like rate limiting, some routing. Then we provide validation and doing some like request to database, and then providing response. This is like example of a simple flow. And why we recommend, if you integrate it first time, to check it manually, because Zap can think that everything okay, but it's not okay. For example, we're doing request and database forces error since some injection comes, but we had a good data validation like directly before doing request to database. But it's wrong because it should be detected earlier, yeah, because when request comes in route. And you can detect it by using only automation tools. So if you integrate it first time, like please spend the time to check this request manually. Usually you need to do it only once. Some recommendation about using scripts. Tools like WebZap has opportunity to launch custom code inside, and it's really useful if you need to do some authorization or custom logic before doing the request, maybe login with different users. So all of this inside. But in reality, when we start working with this, it works with a lot of troubles, and it works, but we have to spend a lot of time to configure this. So that's why we found a good way when we use Zap, when we need to send requests directly, or like launching some standalone scripts. And a good case when we launch some bash script for like for authorization, then like multi-factor authorization maybe. And after receiving access token, we send it to Zap for doing requests. In this case, this product works really well. This is example of our real project. We get it and we install this system and like check what happened directly. You can see that 10 alerts was found, and since God it was not critical alerts. We creating after manual check a list of bugs that we need to fix, and directly for our product, it's not a big project, but it takes primarily like 2.5 weeks to fix this, all of this. And now, if you attack our product, I'm sure that, okay, it's secure. So a few words about startups. Yeah, usually rocket goes up, but in this screen, it goes down. I had experience with one project like 5 years ago, I guess, when we had failed project because of security depths. So it was a marketplace that sells a lot of products with discount, and after going to production and start working with the client, they had a lot of clients. So like if you have a product with discount, thousands of people like to buy it at the same time because it's limited. And they had a lot of security depths. It's like not experience that I don't want to to remember, but I have this. I understand that startups has some focusing on feature since they need to deliver something to get the money, and that's why startups usually not focusing on this at all. My recommendations, yeah, it should be optimal. We today recommend to configure security life cycles, to configure it once. You can see that like fixing flaws in a product and installing it can take like primarily 2 weeks. It's not a lot. In this case, when we launch production, we receive all DDoS attacks, SQL injections, some specific transaction issues, everything. The result was that we paused the product for the half of a year, so 6 months, and we fixed this. And only after that, we released a new version of product that works correctly. But 6 months as for startups can be critical. Okay, so let's continue. A pipeline hell, I call it. So we have when we create a pipeline, so it's usually a CI/CD pipeline where we deliver code from local development to production. It continues, simple pipeline continuous integrations as 3 stages, like build, test, and deploy. This is a simple example of this, and it can be integrated to any product. And usually we start from this. But if you continue work with the product, sometimes you can receive something like this. So this also pipeline with CI/CD, and you need to integrate penetration test and dependency check to this pipeline. So I would like to offer 3 ways how we can work with it, and you can select what is the best choice for you. Oh, Ola, you're back.
Yeah, I am back.
Yeah, we discussed startups and some problematics that I had with one project. I know that you already have success cases with by using some standards and passing audits on real projects. Maybe you can share this experience.
Yes, of course, Ivan, thank you. And I would actually love to share a very fresh real-life example from one of my projects. I really hope that it will be inspiring for someone in this audience. For the past few years, my team and I have been working on a large SaaS platform, a product that simplifies payroll and H&M management for PAOs and small to mid-sized businesses. We have a great relationship with the client, and from the very beginning, we knew that this project was being built for their own business needs. So it was the core of their operations. And then, completely unexpectedly, the founders received an offer. A major player in their domain wanted to buy a copy of our product source code and integrate it into their own ecosystem. What happened next was a really long, multi-layered audit, both of the products and of our development processes. This audit covered many areas, but one of the absolute top priorities was security, the security of the product itself and the security of how we organize development on our side. And here is the important part. We had 0 time to prepare for this audit. There was no chance to fix some things retroactively. This kind of deep audit had never even been planned, so it simply arrived out of nowhere for us. But because we had OWASP standards and really strong security SDLC and security practices embedded from day one, we passed every stage of the audit successfully. I want to underline this. We would not have had the opportunity to catch up or fix gaps at that point. So the deal could only go through because security practices were already integrated into the product from the very beginning, because we made it our standard, not an afterthought. So I truly hope this story inspires at least one person today to take these steps early without waiting for real problems or unexpected challenges to appear.
Okay, thank you. It's a really interesting experience since audits usually is complicated since a lot of projects, as I know, pay for audits. Yeah, and if audit fails, they need to pay again to pass it again. So
yes,
sometimes
again
it's
and again.
$1,000,000, yeah. Okay, let's return to the pipelines. And so where exactly we can integrate these dependency checks and penetration tests. First, if your project's is young or you only start developers, maybe you don't have DevOps at all, it can be just a local test. These scripts for the dependency checks and container of Zap for penetration test can be easily installed to your project as a Docker file, and you can launch it locally and then push already checked code to the pipeline. Really useful if you just starting or your project is small, you're able to launch it locally. Second options connects to situation when you can't deploy product really often. For example, it's some specific release for devices, and you need you can't launch pipeline locally. You have to launch it in CI/CD pipeline on GitLab. But in this case, penetration testing is a part of pipeline inside, and it works also in Docker container. It's really useful if you works with products where you not able to deploy very often. And so maybe with my slide. And second, the third option, it's when penetration testing moves after deploy. We'll like it because in this case, you attack real infrastructure in the cloud. That's that a lot of people not worry about, since protection can be not only on application side, it's a cloud level too. And we have a corporate standard at our company. When we work with a product, we create a list of security depths that can be potentially happen in the product, or based on WASP or CVE top 25. Then we decided where will be a protection layer. It will be application or cloud. And if you have both of these cases, we have to use a pipeline when penetration testing happens after deploy. Really useful if you have a lot of environments, you can test them separately and then go to production. So how many time it takes? For our projects, usually from 1 day to 2 weeks. In most cases, 1 week is enough. It depends on experience of developer, of course, and size of the project, because if you configure it from scratch, 1 day is enough. If you configure already existed product and you can integrate to existing infrastructure, usually it's 2 weeks. So if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Ivan. That was incredibly insightful and very practical. We have covered a lot today, real industry statistics, OWASP trends, dependency risk, penetration testing tools, and different ways to integrate security automation into development pipelines. I really hope this session help you look at security not as a blocker, but as something that actually protect your delivery speed, your product quality, and your users. Because at the end of the day, security development is not about extra processes. It's about preventing real risks before they become real problems. And now, really, we would like to hear from you. So please feel free to write your questions in the chat, and if you haven't already, and we'll go through them one by one. Okay, Ivan, I see one question for us. How often do you check vulnerabilities in new updates in packages? What do you do if you found a vulnerability in a package which you use?
We check it really often, since this is a quick operation. For the most projects, it takes less than 5 minutes, and we launch it every time when we force a pipeline, since we need to detect it as fast as possible. About what we are doing when we found vulnerabilities, it depends on risk. vulnerability is not like it can be low risk or high risk. If it's package, this package that we're using important for us, and like it's like middle level or like low level vulnerability, we can keep this in product temporary, but we schedule this fix like as attack depths for later. But if it's critical vulnerability, we pausing our releases and start fixing it right now. This package replace to another, or we just write the code manually to replace this package.
Okay, thank you. It's clear. Okay, guys, looks like we explained everything perfectly today. We really don't want to keep you longer, so let me wrap up. And thank you all so much for joining us today. If after the session you realize that you would like to discuss something in more detail, explore how these practices could work for your projects, and simply ask additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can contact us through the Apriorit LinkedIn page or through the contact form on our website. We are always happy to stay in touch and glad to help whenever needed. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day and stay secure.
Yes, thank you for your attention and keep your